Hey everyone, welcome to another bullet journal setup video for the month of April. So before we get started on this month's plan with me, I wanted to share some really exciting news with you all. My print shop is officially in business on my website, so now you can order prints of my calendar covers and also my artwork. These prints will come in sizes 5 by 7 and 8.5 by 11 inches. So you can definitely fit them into your bullet journal if you get the 5 by 7 option. Or if you want to hang it up as a piece of artwork, you can order the 8.5 by 11 version and you'll be able to put it in a frame and hang it up on your wall. So first, let's get into my flip through of March, and then I'm going to show you how I set up my bullet journal spreads for April. So the first section is going to be my calendar page and the cover. On the next page is my YouTube planning and my Etsy planning. I've managed to fill it out a lot. This is my big calendar page. As you can see, I had a lot of things going on in March. And then this is my art brainstorm page. This is where I like to print out a lot of photos that I found on the internet and paste in different pictures that really inspire me for my artwork. I like to kind of put a dress with a picture of a girl that I want to paint. And then this is my quote page that I wrote out, kind of the quote to motivate me. This is my tracker page that I tried to fill out, but I didn't do a really good job. As you can see there, there's barely any squares filled out, but I did a pretty good job on my food tracker, I have to say. And then this is my first weekly spread of March. I did a very painterly layout there. And then on the left, I wrote out some dailies I wanted to work on. And on the right, I wanted to journal about my experience at VASE, which is a visual arts scholastic competition. So students from all over Texas go to this competition and they enter to try to win some medals for their artwork pieces that they created. I teach high school photography, so that's why I was there at the competition with my students. We pretty much spent the whole Saturday there at the competition, and they got to talk to judges about their artwork, and then afterwards we walked around the gymnasium and looked at other students' work that were put out. And then on the right side of the page here, you see I did a little journaling about having brunch with my husband on Sunday. So on the next page is when we actually found out if any of my students placed at VASE, and I was happy to say that they all medaled at the competition for regionals, which made me very proud as a teacher. 2 of my students even went on to qualify for state, so that was awesome. On this next page, I did a little more art brainstorming. This is kind of how I get my ideas. I find a picture online of a beautiful dress that I really love. I love looking at haute couture fashion, and it really inspires me to write or think of a story that I'm going to paint. So for this one, I found a myth from Japan called Oiwa, and it's about a type of female yokai, which is a spirit. So this story reads, this female spirit was poisoned by her husband, which caused a facial deformity. He had poisoned her so he could marry a wealthy neighbor's daughter. So she haunted her husband for the rest of his life, appearing to him in paper lanterns. She is characterized by a drooping left eye and baldness. Creepy, right? I love to play with the juxtaposition of beauty and the sinister in my work. So that's why I'm really drawn to these types of stories, because not everything is as it seems. Here is another brainstorming page. I wanted to do something a little different in May that didn't involve flowers, so I found a bunch of really cool pictures of red mushrooms that I'm going to incorporate into my cover page. And I found a picture of a pose that I wanted to draw and a dress that I wanted to put in the picture. So here's another weekly spread that I painted with gold. And on this page, I just did a little to-do list. And on the right, some Bible journaling. Here's another weekly spread layout. I really like this one because it has a lot of gold in it. And here's some more journaling I did. And on the right, I did a little fun doodle with gold and Sharpies. So on the left, I wrote about the Dunlavy, which is this really cool restaurant slash kind of small trail that is on Allen Parkway that I found through a painting assignment that I was doing as a part-time job. On the right side, I wrote down when I got 1,000 subscribers in March, so I was really excited for that. Here's a little log of St. Patrick's Day. Ironically, we didn't end up eating any Irish food on St. Patrick's. We ended up eating Korean food, actually. Here's a more doodly weekly spread with washi tape. And here's a little log of when I went down to Galveston to attend my friend Chelsea's birthday. We had a lot of fun. And we also got her this really cute cat wine holder. And here is my last weekly spread for the month of March. I kept this one really simple with just some pieces of washi tape collaged on top. So now let's get into my April setup. So what I did first was I drew a girl for my cover page holding an umbrella. She's standing in the rain and there are tulips growing underneath her feet. I was inspired by the quote, "April showers bring May flowers," so I wanted to paint some rain this time for my cover. I also wanted to show that the rain will bring flowers, so that's why I drew the tulips in there. So first what I'm doing with the watercolor is I'm just putting down the base colors, and then after they dry I go back in and add more shadows to define all of my objects and the person in the painting itself. So you can see here I'm adding shadows to where the grass is, and after everything has dried I go back and I am dotting in raindrops and using different shades of blue to paint the raindrops. And I'm also using some white to add some sprinkles in there. So when I'm finished with the cover page, I'm going to go and decorate my mini calendar. So I made a separate piece of paper with raindrops and the same kind of background, and I'm just adding more details to the rain. I'm putting some white dots towards the bottom there to kind of show like the rain is bouncing off of the flowers. And now I am writing in my April calendar. Once I'm finished, I'm going to paste them into my bullet journal. So that's what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to create my big calendar. I'm painting washes of blue and purple for the background. And then I'm going to do a little doodle of tulips with my Sigma Micron pen, and I'm just going to color it in with marker. So once the background header has dried, I'm going to go in and add different shades of blue for my raindrops and also some white to give it some contrast. And then I'm going to tape some washi tape around the borders to give it more color and pop. And then I'm going to use some of the extra pieces of washi and skinny washi to separate different sections for the weeks of this month on the right side here. And then I'm going to use some highlighting to give the backdrop for my weeks that I'm writing out with my Sigma Micron pen. Now I'm writing in the days of the month here. After the days are done, I'm going to get my Tombow brush pen and I'm going to outline the different sections with blue. Now I'm going to use my Uniball Signal White pen to write down the days of the week at the top. And then I'm going to use my Tombow pen to write out April on the header here. Then I'm just going to go back in with some little white dots of paint to add the finishing touches to my header. I wanted to show the rain kind of bouncing off when it hits the ground, so that's why I'm adding the little white specks. So on the next page, what I did was I added washi tape around the border, and I'm making my YouTube and Etsy brainstorming page. You can make these kind of pages in your bullet journal however you like. So for whatever business you're trying to run or start, or whatever your work is about, you can always make a planning page for it. And on the next page, I am making my art brainstorming page. This time I wanted to put a section where I can see the calendar dates for art shows that I'm interested in participating in. And I also wanted to add some thumbnails at the bottom so that if I have an idea for a painting, I can kind of get an idea of how many I will need to work on. And as you can see here, I messed up the title quite badly many times, so I had to cover it all up with washi tape. And here I'm writing down the little mini calendar of different art shows that I'm interested in, and I'm going to write the information on the left side. So those are important dates for me to try to memorize so that I can keep track. So for some reason, my camera decided to stop recording the first half of my weekly spread plan. So as you can see, the left side is already completed, unfortunately. But I can show you how to do these raindrops on the right side here. So what I did first was I painted the background of the raindrop with a shade of blue, and then while the paint is still wet, I went back in and made little dots of a darker shade, and I also added in white. And that is the wet on wet technique, where all the colors are going to start merging together and spreading because the paint is wet, and when they dry, it's gonna give a really cool kind of marbled look. I got inspired to do the raindrops because of the washi tape that I had pasted down on the bottom there of the spread. They had these really cool marbled effects inside of the raindrops, so I wanted to do that for the days of the week. And on the side, I wanted to write a little quote. So for this month, I wanted to try a new way of food tracking. Instead of making a food tracker page by itself, I'm going to incorporate it into all of my weekly spreads. I think this will be easier for me to keep up with my food tracker because I'm looking at one page instead of going back and forth between two to kind of log what's happening during the week. Now I'm finishing up by adding the dates on top of the raindrops with some white paint, and then I am finishing with, and now I'm going to add the days of the week with my silver pen. Here is the flip through so you can see all of the pages in order. That was my April bullet journal setup. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.